We too are rushing headlong toward an impact with destiny. We are speeding toward a collision with the final events of Earth's history. Wars and rumors of wars keep rushing at us. Devastating earthquakes have dramatically increased. The social fabric of our society is falling apart. Divorce is rampant and child abuse all too common. Violent crime is on the rise. Sexual promiscuity is out of control. And the gospel is going to all the world, even impacting those nations where it was once banned. All these things are rushing at us with frightening speed. They are signs that history is coming to a climax. We are plummeting toward ground zero, friend, and a lot of people don't even have a parachute. Even more, they are simply unconscious. They don't even realize that the horizon is rushing up to meet them. They are growing limp in the face of climatic end-time events. But even at this late hour, God has planned a mid-air rescue. That's correct, my friend. He knows the human race is spinning rapidly toward its date with destiny. He knows the fate of millions will soon be decided. So even as we fall headlong, seconds from impact, he has devised a way to help us pull our ripcord. God's mid-air rescue is described clearly in the book of Revelation, and Revelation reveals God's last day message. Friend, God always sends a message to prepare his people for major worldwide events which affect their eternal destiny. There's a clear biblical pattern here. God's message of warning is always sent before his judgments. A loving God invites men and women to be saved before the coming calamity. And as an example, in Noah's day, God sent a message to prepare men and women for the coming destruction of the world by water. He longed for people to be saved, not destroyed by the flood. God loved humanity so much, he allowed Noah to preach for 120 years. 120 years of mercy, 120 years of grace, 120 years of loving appeals. A message of mercy and warning always precedes major biblical events. It was only after the inhabitants of Noah's day rejected the message of mercy that God sent the flood. God revealed the same pattern in the days of Joseph. He raised up a man to prepare Egypt for the coming famine. A message of love was sent to Egypt before the calamity. And this pattern was repeated again and again in the Old Testament. God sent his prophets to warn Israel before the impending doom. In the New Testament, God sent John the Baptist to prepare the way for the first coming of Christ. It would be surprising then if God did not have a message of mercy to prepare the world for the second coming of Christ. All through history, God has sent a message to prepare his people for great world-shaking events. And once again, today he has a special message for you and for me to prepare us for the second coming. And this brings us to our theme, which is, if it's in the Bible, I believe it. If it disagrees with the Bible, it is not for me. The message of God to prepare us for the second coming of Christ is something that is for us and for our children. I'm sure you agree. In the Bible's last book, Revelation, God has given us a message that is as significant for us to understand in our day as Noah's, as Joseph's, and as John the Baptist's in their day. There is an urgent end-time message in the book of Revelation which has eternal significance for our world today. This message is as vital for us as John the Baptist's message was for people looking forward to the first coming of Christ. It is found in the heart of the book of Revelation in chapter 14. And let's read this end-time message directly from Revelation. Revelation 14 verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. God's last day message, friend, is pictured as carried by angels in mid-air. It is an urgent message. The angels do not float. They fly. They carry the message rapidly. It goes swiftly, quickly to the ends of the earth. It is a universal message. It goes to every kindred, nation, tongue, and people. And this message from Revelation is vital for you and me to understand, to prepare us for the coming of Christ. There isn't a more important message for our day today. What event does this message prepare all humanity for? Let's look at Revelation 14, verses 14, 15, and 16. Then I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and on the cloud sat one like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, Thrust in your sickle and reap, for the time has come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. So he who sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Friend, what is the meaning of Revelation's symbol of the harvest? Let's look at Matthew 13, verse 39. The enemy who sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the angels. Friend, Revelation describes the second coming of Christ with a symbolism of Jesus coming to reap earth's final harvest. The message of the three angels prepares men and women living in earth's last hour for the glorious, spectacular return of our Lord. A new day will dawn. Christ will return. The heavens will be illuminated with the glory of God. The reign of sin will come to an end. Christ will come to take his people home. But before he returns, he sends a message, a vital message to prepare his people to go home. And here is the message. Revelation 14, verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel